The truth and nothing but the truth.
Answering all of your questions about full-time RV life, part 2. I'm Tammy, and this is my husband Scott. We are two artists who, when faced with mounting health challenges, decided life's way too short. So we sold our home and most of our stuff to move into a home on wheels. And along with Gracie and Jasper, we've hit the road full-time in search of new landscapes, experiences, and friends. We'd love to have you join us as we navigate our way through this RV lifestyle, and until further notice, our mission is explore, create, and inspire.
If you didn't see part 1, we'll link it right here. But today, we're going to talk about
how do we plan all of these RV trips anyway?
and what did we do for a living before we went full-time. Oh, and let's talk about our art a little bit.
And what have been our favorite and least favorite places we've ever traveled.
All right, let's get to it. Here comes part 2. Anna asks, what's it like living in an RV with your spouse 24/7? And it is tight quarters. How many we got? 300 square feet in here?
I don't know.
It's a small space.
Yeah.
But we do have 2 rooms. Morning time, my place is out here in the chair, and I've got a good 2-3 hours by myself doing my, preparing for the day while Tammy's back snoozing away because she didn't sleep the night before because I was snoring all night.
That's true. Sorry, neighbors.
So,
There's nowhere to escape when he's a snorer. And I'm pretty sure the neighbors can hear it too.
I've never heard myself snore.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that happens, but we've been codependent for.
I don't think that's. I don't know if that's positive, but yeah, we're codependent.
We've been codependent for 22 years.
It's almost our anniversary.
Almost our anniversary. We've been married 22 years, and
Have you gotten me an anniversary gift?
that's one of the hard parts about living in the because it's when you live in an RV, it's hard to
surprise each other.
Surprise each other. I mean, there's just really no surprises. I mean,
well, I managed to surprise you with things. Christmas is coming early for Scott this year. Guess what's under the tree? His very own RV macerator poo pump. That's right. His very own poo pump. He needs to kick up the romance a little bit. So
pick up the game.
yeah. Okay. So you might start working on that love poem for my anniversary.
Yeah. But
He usually writes me a nice love letter for our anniversary.
my answer, Anna, is it's working out pretty well, but you do have to get along. And when things get rough, I do have my office to go to.
Yeah, his office.
Every guy's got to have a man cave. Yeah, and it's not just Tammy. There's 2 princesses that rule the castle, and Gracie is the other one.
Well, I know, but it's still, you have half hour to wait, and the more that you complain about that, the longer it might take. Well, don't talk back to me. Okay, we just added 2 minutes on because of that.
And there's times when she just won't stop telling me what to do.
That's true. She has him wrapped around her paw. But I've got a Jasper too, so we got another guy in the house too. And they both mess up the little small bathroom we've got.
What are you doing?
Cleaning all your pee off the toilet. Right now is a good time for you to tell me how much you appreciate me.
What are you doing now?
Now I'm cleaning out their litter box. I got 2 guys in this house, it never ends. But overall, we're the best of friends. It's not a problem as long as he keeps admitting every now and then that I'm right. So both Teresa and Elf Lord asked what were our careers or jobs before we did the full-time RV life when we had our sticks and bricks.
So I had about a 20-year tour of duty in the retail convenience store business, family business. And then Tammy and I got the bright idea that we'd go out and buy a historic inn with
money pit
with 20 rooms and
a restaurant, a bar,
a vibrant restaurant with an incredible patio, but in a very small town.
And in a very small season. We had like 3 months to make
Short
money.
Season. And since then, we have both really flourished in our own ways with our art.
So Scott did a lot of real estate and commercial photography. We actually were on PBS, and we've done a few tourism videos and such.
Garcia's story comes to us from filmmakers Scott and Tammy Metzger.
My paint teacher made an analogy once of learning to play the piano.
And I've had a bit of an eclectic background because I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Tammy was one of the pioneers of the pet sitting industry.
Yeah.
And it was unheard of at the time, and since then it's become a flourishing industry.
But I've always loved animals. I was a vet tech, and
Then she came up with an idea that she wanted to have a doggy daycare, and I thought it was the craziest idea in the world.
that was before they existed.
They're
Guess
popping
what?
up everywhere
There's
now.
doggy daycares everywhere. I have good ideas. But then after all of my surgeries, and I was kind of down in the dumps because I couldn't do much, and I like to do arts and crafts things, and Scott encouraged me, why don't you start trying to make and sell your art? Actually, I have another YouTube channel that I haven't been regular on called Tam's Creative Corner. We're both looking forward to the day when we can spend a little more time on the art side of things. And that leads into our next question. Crafty Traveler would love to see our artwork more, and she's also wondering what mediums our artwork is, and do we sell it and where? And I'm assuming Crafty Traveler is also a crafty traveler, so that's kind of fun to connect with other artists on the road.
When we came up with this whole idea of traveling in an RV and calling ourselves Till Further Notice, our motto or our mantra was explore, create, and inspire. And we've been really heavy on the explore side, and the inspire side's been quite heavy too. The create side's been a little bit more difficult for me when it comes to painting, because I work in oil paints and small confines, and traveling all the time don't go real well with oil painting. But I am managing to do more and more of that, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with y'all pretty soon. And I'm also a photographer, and if you go to our website, tilfurthernotice.com, we've got a tab for a print store.
And also on the website, you're going to see a tab for digital image store. So if you see a favorite image, I try to throw a few of his photography pieces into every adventure video we do. But if you see something you really like, you can go check that out. You can have just a download on your screen. You can turn it into cards, or you can go to the print shop and have it printed and framed in any way that you want. That's just Jasper scratching on his post. Good boy, Jasper.
Good boy, Jasper. We have to do that.
We have to tell him good boy so he doesn't scratch the rest of the furniture, and it works. So my medium was mixed media. I did acrylics, resin, and a lot of mixed media elements, but mostly it all incorporated with resin. Obviously, resin in an RV isn't cohesive, so I haven't been doing my art. But until then, my creative outlet is putting all these videos together for you guys. And so Mark, our other fellow RVers who are getting ready to take the plunge, congratulations. They're artists and they want to know how and if we make money with our art doing the RV life, and do we have any tips for them? So obviously we're not making a living with our art. It's really been about just this time for us to have and get out and explore and do the things we want to do while we can do it. So I'm not to say that there's not a way to do that. My only tip for you would be, I don't know your medium. Comment below. We'd love to connect with you and know what kind of art you guys do. But for me, when I got my social media part of the art going, it really is what sold the art. So I don't know what your medium is, but if you can create little videos and share your art online, then you'll sell yourself, and that could be a great way to make an income stream.
Uh-oh, Craig wants to know, when is Tammy gonna drive the rig? When are you gonna drive the rig?
No. Never. Okay. That's Scott's job. That's his job. He drives. He's the driver. So, I mean, I clean, I cook, I do all the videos, I do all the bills and households, I do all the trip planning. I mean, it's the least he can do is be the driver.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like I'm the pilot and she's the flight attendant.
Yeah. Craig. But no, I know. I need to tow the rig. I need to know how to do it. I mechanically know how it functions and how to do it. I just haven't done it. But part of the reason I haven't is because Scott didn't want me to.
I'm a little bit too controlling, and I would just as soon be driving the dang thing myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I could ever go over and take a nap while she's driving.
Yeah.
I mean, turns out we're driving down the bike path. Not good.
Maybe we should just stick to our roles, babe.
So
I'd be having an anxiety attack.
Might as
He'd
well.
be having an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go well. Although, you know, you've put a couple holes in the rig, so I guess, you know, I could attempt it and couldn't be too much worse. Craig, I'm gonna tow the rig. You got me, I'm gonna tow the rig. Be waiting for that.
Auntie wants to know, how do we plan our trips?
Yeah, that's me. From the get-go and to this day, our most used app and tool for traveling is RV Life's Trip Wizard. It's your all-in-one, everything you need to route your trips, to plan your trips, to book your trips. There's a GPS where you can put in the height of your RV so you make sure you're going on the right roads. And we always use that to double check with our GPS Garmin unit, and it hasn't led us astray. And as we're traveling, I can be looking up what's ahead and get on and click right through to the website, read the reviews, and book the site. It's amazing. It's super reasonable, and it's a logbook, and that's probably my favorite thing about it. You can see from the day we started our RV life to now, everywhere we've been, where we've stayed, you can put in how much, you can put notes in, what campsite you were in. It shows on the map everywhere you've been, so it's like a running logbook, and I love that. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to check that out for yourselves if you're starting the RV life, but that's like my go-to everything, and I love it. So my fellow artist and friend Claire from the other side of the pond, is that what you say when they're in the UK? On the other side of the pond?
Yeah.
We've been friends since I started my art channel online. So she's also a crafty, artsy gal, and she's hilarious and lovable and fun to watch. So be sure to check out her channel if you're into that stuff. So Claire's wanting to know, how long do we spend in each place? Do we have itineraries or go with the flow? And did we have a plan, like we're gonna do this for 5 years and then stop?
So Claire, the length of time that we spend in each place, it's varied across the board. We've spent as long as 7 months in one place, and we're just moving maybe 100 feet one time, but one campsite for 7 months, and we've traveled all the way across America and kept moving.
We've done 2 days, 1 night, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a week, 3 months. I mean, we've done it all.
And for us, we've discovered that we like staying places longer. We find that 5 weeks is kind of a magic period of time where you start becoming familiar with your surroundings. You know where your stores are and your services, and everyone's different. We know people who can't stand to stay a place more than 2 weeks at a time. And as far as itinerary or go with the flow, we wish we could just go with the flow, and we do on like our in-between travels. We just kind of book as we go for the 1 night, 2 night stays. But unfortunately, in this day and age of RV life, man, you've got to book out sometimes 6 months to a year, even 2 years in advance. Like Florida,
a year in advance usually. Colorado, I have to book 6 months in advance. Of course, when we're staying at Mom and Dad's, I don't have to worry about that.
And New England was
definitely
a planning endeavor.
Yeah, and of course, we were traveling, when you're traveling at peak season, that's even more important. If you're traveling off season, not so important. You could go with the flow a little more. And also the size of your rig has a bit to do with it. So when you're a bigger rig, you can't just pull over and fit anywhere. I wish we could be more free-spirited though. Claire also wanted to know, when we started out, did we set a time limit on it? Like we're gonna do RV life for 5 years, or are we just kinda gonna wing it?
I think we told our family that we planned on doing this for a year because that helped soften the blow. But the reality is it was such a huge,
sorry family.
It was such a huge lifestyle change that I think in our own minds we really kind of had,
a few years,
5 years, 3 years. But
yeah.
But then again, you never know where life's going to take you for health reasons, for money reasons. I mean, there's all kinds of variables out there that can take you a different direction.
And that's why we named our channel Til Further Notice.
And that's why when we created the logo, we didn't put an RV in the picture. We put Tammy and me out by the side of a highway having an adventure with Jasper and Gracie.
Yeah.
And
so our mission is explore, create, and inspire in whatever capacity that needs to look like. And Mark M wanted to know, are we planning on doing the whole US or just sections? Well, before we started the vlog, we've actually been campers and RVers for many years. So we've hit almost all the states already, even though it's not on the vlog.
So you know how they have those decals you put on the side of your rig and you color in each state every time you cross the border? We don't have one of those.
To answer your question, we just kind of plan out a year in advance what we're gonna do and hit. And Pat was telling us and reminiscing about his days at Mount Rainier and wondered if we would be going back to Mount Rainier and doing that.
We spent several months outside of Olympia, Washington, with a view of Mount Rainier right from the campground that we were in, so I'm very familiar with it. We never did make it up to the national park
because of the weather and the animals and leaving them for that long. It just logistically wasn't going to happen. It was a major heat wave when we were there, and we didn't feel comfortable leaving them for as long as it would have took for us to get to the park, do our thing, and come back. And they weren't allowed in the parks.
Anna wants to know if we've exceeded our yearly budget.
What budget? So this year was a very expensive year. We traveled the most we've ever traveled. We went to very expensive places. We gotta get every piece of lobster because it's expensive. And fuel prices were through the roof.
There we go, $5 a gallon.
So yeah, this wasn't a budget-friendly year. We knew it wouldn't be, but we decided to go for it anyway and treat it as a kind of vacation year. Now we're exhausted and we're settling down for the winter and it feels really good. She also wants to know, where have we met the friendliest people?
Everywhere we've gone, we've ended up coming away with new friends. People that we're staying in touch with, that...
Yeah, lifelong friends. I can't really think of anywhere where people haven't been amazing, and I think it might have to do with just the RV community in general, and I know you'll hear that a lot, but it's true. It's a really great community. Amy wants to know, is our bucket list getting longer or shorter as we travel?
That's a really good question.
That is a good question.
Because everywhere that we go, we end up with probably 10 things that we didn't get around to seeing that end up going on the bucket list.
Yeah.
So it's got to be growing, right?
It's growing.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting bigger because there's places that we've been that we didn't know we'd love so much that we didn't have time to do everything, and we want to go back. So it's growing. It's not getting, there's no checking off our bucket list in our lifetime, I can tell you that.
And we had several people ask, what are our favorite and least favorite places that we've been? You want to take that one?
You take it first and then I'll take it.
You take it.
No, you take it.
Okay, I'll take it.
I can't decide.
Hands down, the southern coast of Oregon was my favorite place. That Samuel Boardman scenic corridor, you know, is got to be one of the most picturesque. I mean, just the way the waves come in and slam into the seaside cliffs, and the forest comes down to the ocean. And
I've never seen anything like this. This is both scary and exhilarating and wet, very wet. All the rock formations,
the sunsets,
the agate hunting and beachcombing.
yeah, the king tides.
And we have some amazing friends that we still keep in touch with over there.
For a nature and landscape photographer, I can't think of a place that's more inspiring than the Southern Oregon coast.
Everywhere we go, there's really something to love about it, except for our least favorites. I'll get to that in a minute. And surprisingly and unexpectedly, we fell in love with Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And we just love the art and the culture and the people and the food. It was awesome, and that's definitely some place we would want to go back to. And we also love Florida because there's so much outdoor recreation. We're not big on the city parts, but we love the springs, the manatee,
Old Florida.
Old Florida, the moss, the towns, the people. So there's just a lot to love everywhere. So it's a hard question, but I think Oregon is a pretty special place in our hearts for sure.
You're gonna make somebody mad if you tell them what
Our
their
least favorite is.
place is.
I know.
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City, we won't go back.
If you haven't seen that video, click on the link
We'll
above.
drive through it when we have to, but we're not going to choose to go back to Salt Lake City. But it's mostly probably because of our experience that we had there.
Yeah, just had a smash and grab. But they got our kayak, god dang it. And that pisses me off.
The theft, the breaking in, it was just not a good experience, and it's just not fun to drive through anyway. So sorry, Salt Lake City. The rest of Utah, we love you. We love Moab. We love all of that stuff. But Salt Lake City, we don't need you anymore.
While we're making enemies, people wonder why Colorado is so windy, and it's honestly, it's because Kansas sucks and Utah blows. That's just a funny joke. It's not the truth. We love Utah. Honestly, Utah is one of my favorite places in the whole United States. I love the red rock. I love the landscapes, the canyons. You know, out in the desert. Just don't want to go back to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
The truth and nothing but the truth.
The truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
You asked for it, folks. We're just being honest. George, oh sweet George, wants to know, would you ever consider doing a meetup?
Done it before and we'll do it again.
I think he's talking about a meetup, like with a bunch of people.
Oh.
Yeah, we've done a lot of meetups with individual people along the way when it's worked out, and we love that. But I think George is referring to a meetup, like a scheduled, planned out meetup for everyone to come meet us at. How do you feel about that?
Maybe one of these days.
Maybe if we get to like 15,000 followers, then we'll know enough people might show up. But yeah, we're kind of shy and introverted, so that would be a big thing for us. We love meeting people. That's like our favorite thing. But a large group of people and all that, it's a little nerve-wracking. Whenever we're asked that question, it's completely flattering because that makes us feel so good that people actually want to meet us. If we keep doing this and we keep growing this channel in our community, I think we'll definitely have to plan some kind of a fun meetup. Maybe an adventure meetup, like a kayaking or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Photo safari.
Oh, okay, that would be good. An interactive meetup. How do you like that, George?
Everybody bring your cameras and
Cameras.
we'll have a photo safari.
Now that I get excited about.
Yeah.
That works for us. So yeah, maybe a meetup would be okay. Gary wants to know, is Florida in your winter plans? Well, probably Gary already has seen the videos and knows we are in Florida for the winter. And we've already been out doing a few things and hanging out with a manatee, and we're excited to share those videos with you. All right, for our final question, Lil Rambo and Jill and several of you out there asked, if you were to stop doing this full-time RV life, where would you home base out of? Where would you settle down? What would that look like for you? And that's honestly a really hard question to answer right now.
And it's a question that we devote a lot of time to thinking about.
We do.
Well, Colorado's always going to be home because that's where our family is. That's where the kids are, the grandkids, our parents, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So
we always have a home base in Colorado.
yeah. But the more we travel around, the more we do find places that we could see ourselves setting up a domicile, setting up a home base, a place to operate from. And I think that that's likely in our future, mainly because we can't go on at this pace forever.
It's always on the radar. We're kind of always processing that and thinking about what that next step might look like. And we kind of have an idea that it's just going to be a simple home base, an adventure mobile. We always want to adventure and always have an RV, and a creative space to do art. So I don't think our mission's going to change. It's just might look different. So we will let you know when we know, and we'll take you along for the ride, because till further notice,
Till further notice,
we're gonna spend the winter in Florida, and we have some fun adventures to share.
well, it really means a lot to both of us that you guys tag along and take interest in what we're doing, and hopefully we're doing a little bit of inspiring, and you definitely inspire us.
Keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming. Let us know what you'd like to see and learn about with our channel.
We're good?
We're good.
Okay.
Let's
Cheers.
Let's go edit some video. Hold on to your horses. Wait a minute. I gotta say something. We got another super thanks. Thank you again, David and Bobby, for your super thanks. And Outdoors Beyond Nature in 1980. Thank you. All right, goodbye.